The easiest way to win a mind game is not to sit at the table. See, some people thrive on drama like it's their morning coffee. They can't start their day without stirring the pot. And if a man is testing your emotions, if he's pulling those little stunts just to see you react, then he's building his whole entertainment show around you. He wants you to be the main act, the star performer in his little circus. But here's the truth. Circuses can't run without an audience. If you stop showing up, the tent comes down, the lights go out, and the ringmaster packs his bags. When you step onto his playground, you're already playing by his rules. And trust me, his rules are not designed for you to win. He'll set up situations, drop little hints, twist words, or go silent at just the right moment, just so you'll start overthinking. And when you react, he'll stand there with that smug little gotcha look. But the moment you decide, you know what, I'm not even going to respond to this nonsense, that's when you flip the script. You take away his control, because his control only exists as long as you give it to him. Now, I'm not saying ignore everything in life or walk away from every challenge. I'm saying you have to be smart enough to recognize when something is designed to get a rise out of you. There's a difference between having a healthy conversation about real issues and falling into a trap where the goal isn't resolution, it's reaction. If his moves keep making you feel drained, confused, or like you have to prove yourself, then you're not dealing with a partner, you're dealing with a player. And you can't beat a player by becoming one. You beat a player by quitting the game entirely. The power move here is emotional detachment. That doesn't mean you don't care about yourself, your values, or your peace. It means you stop caring about feeding someone else's ego. Emotional detachment is like locking the gate to your playground and hanging up a sign that says closed until further notice. He can swing by, but he can't get in, and let me tell you, nothing drives a person crazier than not being able to access the reaction they're used to getting from you. This is where you have to protect your energy like it's the most valuable currency in the world, because it is, your peace of mind, your happiness, your confidence. Those are priceless. When you spend them on someone who's just using your emotions for sport, you're making a bad investment. But when you pull your investment, when you decide my energy will be spent on people and situations that uplift me, not drain me, then you start to see your life shift. And here's the beauty of it. Once you stop showing up to his playground, he's got two choices. Either step up and deal with you on respectful, mature terms, or move on and go play somewhere else. Either way, you win. Because the game stops being about him controlling your emotions and starts being about you controlling your own life. Remember, silence is a weapon. Walking away is a strategy. You don't have to slam the door. You don't have to make a big scene. Sometimes the most powerful statement is just not being available for the foolishness. When you remove yourself from his circus, you don't just take away his audience. You take away his stage. And a man with no stage has no show. So, the next time someone tries to drag you onto their playground of emotional games, think about what it costs you. Think about the hours you'll waste replaying the conversation in your head, the nights you'll spend wondering what he meant, the self, doubt you'll feel when you keep reacting instead of choosing peace. Then ask yourself, what if I just didn't go there? What if I kept my joy, my smile, my dignity, and let him play by himself? Because here's the truth. No one can mess with your emotions without your permission. The day you stop handing out passes to your emotional world is the day you take back your power. And when you've got your power, you don't need to win the game, because you've already left the playground. If he can switch your mood like flipping channels, then you've handed over the remote to your life. Think about it. If every smile, every tear, every mood swing you have is based on what he says or does, you're not running the show anymore. You're just the actor, and he's the director calling action and cut whenever he pleases. The problem is, you weren't born to be someone else's puppet. You're the main character in your own story, and the second you realize that, you'll understand how important it is to take back that remote. When you let someone control your emotions, they control your focus, and whatever controls your focus controls your decisions. If every time he ignores your text, you feel anxious, if every time he pays you a little attention, you feel euphoric, and if every time he criticizes you, you spiral into self-doubt, then you're living on a roller coaster that he's operating. He doesn't even have to push hard. All he has to do is press the right emotional button, and he gets a reaction. That's not love, that's control. And control disguised as romance is dangerous. The first step in taking back your remote is recognizing your triggers. You've got to get real with yourself about what sets you off. Is it when he gives you the silent treatment? Is it when he flirts with other women in front of you? Is it when he gives affection one day and pulls it away the next? Once you know your triggers, you can start building boundaries that protect you. Boundaries are like parental controls. You set the rules on what's allowed to play on your channel. And let me tell you, boundaries are not walls to keep love out. They're gates to let the right kind of love in. If you say, "I don't accept disrespect," and then you follow through by walking away when it happens, that's you taking the remote back. If you say, "I need clear communication," and you stop engaging when he tries to play mind games, that's you deciding what show runs in your life. See, here's the truth. Your emotions are like your living room. You invite people in, but you decide how long they stay and how they act while they're there. If someone keeps barging in, grabbing the remote, and putting on trash TV that you never wanted to watch, eventually you're going to get fed up. And in real life, that trash TV is constant drama, insecurity, manipulation, and confusion. You can't let that be the regular programming of your life. Taking back the remote doesn't mean you turn into a cold, unfeeling person. It means you become intentional. If he's acting out to get a rise out of you, you can decide, nope, I'm not giving that my energy today. If he's giving you the silent treatment, you can decide, okay, I'll use this silence for my own peace and self. Care, not for chasing after you. The key is to make your reactions your choice, not his command. When you're in control of the remote, you choose what plays in your head. You start tuning into channels that make you laugh, inspire you, and build you up. You stop binge, watching the drama series he's been writing for you, and you start directing your own storyline. And here's what's going to happen. At first, he's going to notice the change. He'll press the same buttons and expect the same reaction. And when it doesn't come, he'll be confused. He might even push harder for a while, trying to get that old emotional response. But if you stay consistent, eventually he'll realize you're no longer available for his little show. And that's when you win, because now you're not just surviving the drama, you're editing it out entirely. Your mood is steady, your mind is clear, and your heart isn't on a leash that someone else is holding. You'll start to see that the world is bigger than the emotional tug-of, or he had you in. You'll rediscover hobbies, friends, dreams, and joy that have nothing to do with him. Life is too short to let someone else run the programming. You have one life, one story, one set of emotional airwaves, and you deserve to fill them with what lifts you up, not what tears you down. So take the remote back, choose your own show, and never again let someone else decide what plays in the theater of your mind. The moment a man knows exactly how you'll react, you've given him a playbook to your emotions. He's got the coordinates to your emotional GPS, and all he has to do is type in the destination to take you exactly where he wants. If he knows you'll blow up when he's late, cry when he pulls away, or chase when he goes silent, then he can control the pace, the mood, and the direction of your whole connection. That's why you've got to add a little mystery. Mystery makes people curious. Curiosity makes them pay attention, and attention, when earned the right way, turns into respect. When you're predictable in your emotional reactions, you make it too easy for someone to manipulate you. Think about it. If every time he disappears for a day, you send a storm of texts and calls, then he knows exactly what button to push to get a rise out of you. If every time he compliments you, you open the door for him to walk back in after mistreating you, he learns that a little sweet talk erases bad behavior. You don't want to be that easy to figure out. Now, this doesn't mean you play childish games. This isn't about manipulation. It's about self-respect. It's about realizing that not every emotion you feel needs to be put on display, and not every move you make needs to be explained. You can have thoughts, feelings, and decisions that belong to you alone. When you keep some of your emotional world private, you create a space that no one else can invade or control. The key is to stop being so available for every test he throws your way. If he's expecting a meltdown, give him calm. If he's expecting you to beg, give him silence. If he's expecting you to explain yourself over and over, simply stop justifying and let your actions speak. This shift doesn't just make him wonder, it changes the power dynamic entirely. He's no longer steering the ship, you are. Mystery doesn't mean being fake, it means being strategic. If you're happy, be happy, but you don't need to send hourly updates about your mood. If you're upset, take the time to process it before reacting. The less predictable your responses are, the more careful he has to be with how he treats you. People respect what they can't take for granted. And here's something powerful. Mystery also gives you time. When you don't react instantly, you give yourself the chance to think clearly. You can ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is this really about me? Or is this about him trying to pull me into something? Many emotional traps only work because they catch you off guard. Slow down and you'll start seeing them for what they are. Let him wonder where your mind is. Let him wonder why you're not biting the bait. Let him wonder why you're smiling to yourself instead of arguing back. That wondering will either push him to step up his respect for you or reveal that he was never serious in the first place. Either way, you win, because your peace is intact. Understand this, your emotions are not a public service. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to how you feel, especially someone who has shown they'll use that access to keep you off balance. Think of your emotional life as your home. There are rooms that guests can see, and there are rooms that are private. Not everyone gets the key to every door. When you take back that privacy, you also take back your power. You stop living in reaction mode and start living in decision mode. You choose when to engage, how much to share, and when to walk away. That choice is what keeps you grounded, even when someone's trying to throw you off your game. So stop broadcasting your every move and feeling. Stop making it easy for him to track your emotional location like it's Google Maps. Pull back, live your life, smile when you feel like smiling. Be silent when silence serves you better than words. And remember, mystery isn't about confusing someone. It's about showing them that you're not for playing with. The less he can predict you, the more he has to respect you. And once you've got that respect, you don't just win the game. You make sure the game never even starts.